We'll take it from here. COVID-19 has been like an X-ray, exposing the fractures in our system. Inequality is rampant, and it's only getting worse. The world's richest 1% now has more than twice as much wealth as the bottom 90% of the world's population. And it's those struggling communities that will be hit hardest by COVID-19, both medically and economically. Visible injustices have compelled people around the world to yell and plead that Black Lives Matter. Democracy is being actively suppressed in places long considered free. And while all this is happening, we're still hurtling towards a global climate tipping point. At least 3 degrees of warming are projected. A 3.7 degree increase would cause a staggering $551 trillion in damage. That's more than all the wealth that currently exists combined. Even just a 1.5 degree increase by the year 2100 would cost $54 trillion, according to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. And patterns of inequality and injustice are emerging once again. The countries and communities least responsible for climate change are going to be the least resistant and most affected by it.
So, what are we, current and former business students, doing to tackle these realities? Not enough. That's because we are taught to think in the exact same way that got us here. We might occasionally hear about sustainability in our class, but we aren't taught what a truly sustainable society looks like and what we can do to build it. But we have a unique opportunity to create a more sustainable, equitable, and just world.
En l'occurrence, le plus grand transfert de richesse de l'histoire aura lieu au cours des 10 à 15 prochaines années. Tout cet argent sera investi ou dépensé quelque part par des jeunes comme nous.
But to make that change happen, we need to be taught how to create it and build a better future for every single one of us. And that's not the trajectory we're on.
We're launching an initiative to ensure that business students across the country get the resources and education to become leaders who can understand both the opportunities and the responsibilities that sustainable development presents. While it was partly informed by hundreds of discussions with leaders across the private, public, and social sector, this initiative was co-created by over 50 youth organizations. This is the largest sustainable business movement that Canada's business schools have ever seen. At its core, a manifesto created by youth for youth, containing 20 statements outlining the importance of sustainability, best practices, and how to push the conversation further. So, what do we propose?
To start, we have to understand that building a more sustainable world is not just a responsibility, it's also an opportunity. Sustainable finance has recently become a $30 trillion market, and companies who are more responsible, meaning they have higher environmental, social, and governance indicators, withstood the market impacts of COVID-19 better than others. But we can't let a focus on opportunity overshadow the responsibility that we have to a more sustainable future. Sustainable finance can sometimes perpetuate truly harmful practices, like greenwashing. Take Pacific Gas and Electric, for example, the utility company responsible for 5 of the 10 most destructive wildfires in California between 2015 and 2019. It had incredible ESG ratings, but still became the first big bankruptcy caused by climate change due to a lack of climate risk mitigations and a prioritization of profits. Evaluating a company solely based on traditional ESG ratings is not enough. Luckily, there are tools and frameworks available to us which will allow us to truly measure impact. We just need to be taught about them.
Une des manières de commencer à atteindre nos objectifs de développement durable et d'éviter davantage d'éco-blanchiment est de repenser la raison d'être des entreprises afin de trouver un équilibre entre le profit, la planète et les personnes. En fait, il faut aller au-delà du mouvement pour la responsabilité sociale des entreprises, ou RSE, qui se heurte actuellement à de sérieuses limites. Le problème, c'est que la RSE donne souvent l'impression d'être davantage une stratégie de relations publiques plutôt que de réels changements systémiques. La bonne nouvelle, c'est que les entreprises qui sont désireuses de se rencontrer à l'intersection des opportunités commerciales et des besoins sociaux et environnementaux, plutôt que de voir le développement durable comme quelque chose de secondaire ou de séparé du modèle d'affaires, seront les mieux équipées pour la réforme capitaliste qui s'impose. Par exemple, les 17 objectifs de développement durable par les Nations Unies représentent un excellent cadre de référence pour identifier des opportunités d'affaires qui permettent la création de valeurs partagées en bénéficiant tant à la société qu'à l'environnement. Ensemble, ces ODD représentent un potentiel de 12 000 milliards de dollars pour les entreprises responsables d'ici 2030. Il existe également déjà d'innombrables exemples de décisions commerciales intelligentes qui trouvent un équilibre entre le profit, la planète et les personnes.
That's where we could be headed if we change the education we receive. But right now, that's not where we're going, or at least not fast enough. All of us want a healthier planet and a fairer economy. Maybe you will disagree or not know enough about certain topics to agree with all of the Manifesto statements, but that is not the point. Your signature simply means that you want our schools to engage with us more about these overlooked solutions and issues so that we can change the education we will receive and the world we will graduate into.